That'll fine. All right, so welcome to a special Friday night edition, very special for Ellie Style. And this is episode 29, everybody. So we're really, really happy to be here with you tonight. You know, we didn't want to interrupt Super Bowl Sunday. Ellie, what's up, buddy?
Hey, buddy. Yeah, a little different Friday. Kind of had to go and cancel out on some serious pickleball singles tonight for this. So this better be good because that was about to be some righteous singles I was going to get into tonight. But it's okay because our guests tonight are good friends. I've watched them grow up in junior racquetball from when they were very young to where they're at now. So I'm looking forward to this Friday night. I'm sure you guys have cocktails. It's still light here in Cali, like it's 5 o'clock is, I mean, I could go out for a walk right now. It's 65 degrees right now. I don't know if I'm ready yet.
It's about 65 here in Cuenca, too. And yes, I have a Moscow Mule. So cheers to that. Thank you.
Cheers.
I know Scotty Mack back there has something. And, you kind of stole the thunder. I didn't say, but tonight's guests are from Manilla Athletics, Adam Manilla, and, of course, his sister Erika Manilla, Ellie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like I said, I did steal your thunder there. Sorry about that. But everybody sees the flyer that comes out today. Vero does such a great job at that. And, looking forward to the conversation. We got some fun questions. We'll keep it on point. Definitely looking forward to hearing them talk about their new social page for Racquetball. It's getting some traction going right now. So look forward to talking about that.
Yeah, definitely. It'd be cool. And I see Mama Ellis, of course. Dave Ellis, hello. How are you, sir? Always nice to see the both of you. Jordan Walters, John Goff from Minneapolis. We love what you're doing. Keep it up. Keep putting racquetball out there. Keep it live. Keep it hot. Doesn't matter. I don't care if there's one person or 1,000 people watching. Keep doing what you're doing, John Goff. And we're going to come out and visit you soon, all right? Holly Ray Scott is on the air. Holly Ray, what's up? Hope you are well. And Robert Stoner, Ola Racquetball friends. Keep it going. Just share. Hey, guys, share the feed. Girls, share the feed. Get it out there. Holly, talk to the crew. What's up? If you're a pro racquetball player or any racquetball player, wouldn't you want to see what's going on, what we're talking about? But we know you watch it after. It's not always live, but we do like seeing you live. All right, so Ellie, normally there's a little monologue, which everybody knows, but since this is the special Friday night edition because of Super Bowl Sunday, you and I, being the sports maniacs we are, we're going to discuss a little Super Bowl, buddy. So, first off, for those of you that don't know, the LA Rams are Ellie's team. Mm-hmm. And the LA Rams are not in the Super Bowl. I just have to throw that out there. That's enough of that. Right. And now let's talk about the game. We got the Kansas City Chiefs with Patrick Mahomes trying to defend their title against a guy named Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Let's talk about it, Ellie, and then we'll make our picks.
Sounds good. Let me start with Kansas City because I think they're on a 25 out of 27 game winning streak here. So 25 of their last 27 W's. Lost to the Raiders this year, 15-1, and then a couple of playoff games. The loss to the Raiders was kind of surprising. I remember watching that game earlier in the season, and they just looked susceptible to an L, and they took one. And the second time versus the Raiders, they played them tough as well. So maybe it was just something about the Raiders that gives them fits. Obviously, it's a rivalry. It goes way back. So they seem like they're on path, and Mahomes is great. There's no debating that. And he's only 25 years old. So this is his second Super Bowl here. He's the favorite on their home field. So there's a lot going on here with this, but it is Tom Brady in a new location, taking the Buccaneers, who used to be during our early years in life, were the laughing stock of the league until they rose up there and got that Super Bowl win a little while ago now. And they've been kind of consistently decent since then. And now they're looking pretty good.
Yeah, they're up and down. I mean, let's face it. I remember when Tom Brady announced that he was going to go to the Buccaneers. I think I actually tweeted it. I said that no matter what happens, one thing you can be positive of is that he will make everyone around him better. And his presence will demand excellence, and it will demand everybody, put out their best and be the best they can be. And, because the Bucs were obviously last year, I don't even think they made the playoffs. I'm not 100% certain on that. But, it doesn't surprise me that he's in the Super Bowl. As far as the Chiefs, everything on paper, everything points and says that the Chiefs should win this game. Now, they played earlier in the year. It was a close game. I know that. A friend of mine reminded me of that one. And yeah, Patrick Mahomes right now is the best all-around quarterback in the game. With that said, now now we're going to make our picks. So Scotty Mac, feel free to verbalize your pick, or if you want to text to me, I'll say it out loud. But you know, Ellie, I'm going to let you go first, and then I'm
Sure.
going to make my pick next. So the Vegas has it. The line is that the Chiefs are favored by 3 points over the Tampa Bay Bucks. What do you got, Ellie? If you were a
Right.
betting man,
And I'm going to build up on this a little. If it's in Tampa Bay, so they're favored by 3. Imagine if it was at a neutral site. This is not a neutral site.
time out. Wait, let me give you a little. I have a little knowledge about this. When the home team automatically before the game starts gets 3 points, so that's kind of like an unwritten rule.
And that's what I was getting into. If this were on a true neutral site, I think this would be a 5.5 to 6.5 spread here. And that so that matters. Although this is a Super Bowl and there's some professionalism that will be involved for Tampa Bay. Not they don't get to blast the guns when they score a touchdown. They do. The stadium is saying that if they win the Super Bowl, they'll be blasting them like crazy. That game earlier in the year, you mentioned it being kind of close. It wasn't close until the end, and then they kind of let him come back. Kansas City got a little bored, so they let him come back in there and get some points that made it closer to him to the final score. But it was controlled by Kansas City. The Rams slapped the Buccaneers around this year right on their home field on Monday night or Sunday night, whatever it was. It was a pounding. So that was fun. I know that. It was weird. What a weird playoffs for Tampa Bay. They kind of they defeated Washington, a team that wasn't even 500, but looking good for the future potentially. But they weren't 500 this year. Not that great. The East
They
stunk.
suck. They suck.
No, they don't suck. They've got some
The
serious.
NFC East is terrible.
But they've got some serious defensive linemen. They've got some serious defensive possibilities going forward. They need a quarterback. Obviously, they'll be looking into that. Alex Smith was a great story, but I don't know why we're talking about them that much. They got by a Drew Brees team that Drew played terrible. It was fun to see him pound on Aaron Rodgers. I don't love Aaron Rodgers and Green Bay, so they earned their way there, but they're here now. I have the Chiefs winning, and I think they're going to win by 14 to 17 points here. I think the spread is way off. I think they're going to put it on them. But I can see the other scenario for sure. It's
You
can
can't
see
do that.
both ways. I know.
You
I'm,
have to
I'm
make
taking
one
the
pick.
Chiefs. I'm taking the Chiefs
Okay.
by 17, literally.
By 17.
By 17. But
I'll take that action. Can we do
I
a
know
dinner?
you. Oh, of course you would. That's why I think
Virtual
the spread.
dinner?
The spread. For me in one sense it's a lock. But you are talking about Tom Brady. He'll have everybody ready to play. The motivation will be there. Everybody's talking about with 2 Super Bowl wins. Now you're talking about Mahomes threatening that greatest of all time situation with just 2 compared to the 6, I believe that Tom has. He's 6-3, right? This is his 10th that he's playing here. If he wins, if the Buccaneers win, then at 7-3, 7 Super Bowl victories, it'll, the whole Mahomes and beating Mahomes' team, that'll take a while for Mahomes to catch up and be in that greatest of all time conversation with Tom Brady. But if he gets this one in a head-to-head situation, even though they have nothing to do with playing against each other on the field, now at 25, you're looking at 2 titles, and he's looking on pace to literally catch him someday, potentially. But the head-to-head, he's got that one. And I think they're kind of even in their overall games against each other right now, just looking at the 3 or 4 seasons here that they've played. So, yeah, I've got the Chiefs. This whole week, I've wanted to say Tampa Bay and all these little reasons why, but screw it. Now that the game's here, the best player on the field, the best 2 players on the field at that matter, because Tyreek Hill can't be caught. Nobody's catching him. If he's running with the ball and he's got open field, nobody's running him down. So I'll take those 2 guys, and Kelsey's probably the 3rd best player on the field. They got the 3 best players on the field.
All right, so Ellie's got the Chiefs. Everybody in the chat room, we want to hear who you have. Here's my breakdown. You have the Kansas City Chiefs, who on paper are certainly supposed to be better across the board than the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Like Ellie said, Tyreek Hill can't be caught. Patrick Mahomes is going to be the MVP if they win this Super Bowl. Travis Kelce, probably the best tight end in the game. At one point, there was the guy on the other side that maybe was. Andy Reid. I mean, what a coach, right? KC. Everything's just screaming Chiefs to dominate this game. Then I step back and say, okay, but on the other side of the ball, you got the guy that just wins. he just wins. Just knows how to get it done. You know, Tom Brady, we haven't met. A very mutual friend of ours, very close friend, has said that he can make that happen, and we will. He blocked for you and has 3 Super Bowl rings with you, Joe Andruzzi, you know, with the Patriots. So here's the thing. I can't imagine Tom Brady letting Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs kick their asses that bad in Tampa Bay. Now, I could be wrong, but I tell you what, Ellie, if I was betting the game, there's no chance I'm betting against Tom Brady. The other thing that scares me is what you said. It's a 3-point spread, right, in Vegas. If the Chiefs are that much better, as we all think, you just said 17. I think the entire public out there is watching and saying, Chiefs, Chiefs, Chiefs. Why is it only 3 points? Vegas is never wrong. Casinos don't close, even through this pandemic. They just don't close. So it just makes me wonder why it's only 3 points. I get it. You got the best on one side. It's like my wife said, we just watched that Tiger documentary. I don't know if you've watched that on HBO. Fantastic. We'll talk about that another time. And she said, I don't care how old somebody is. Why is it surprising? If you're one of the best ever, you should be able to go out and do it. And that's kind of where I'm at with Tom Brady right now on the Bucs. It's not going to surprise me if he wins his 6th at all. 7th. I'm sorry. I actually think it would surprise me if he doesn't. But with that said, Patrick Mahomes, you got to go out and do your thing because Tom Brady's not going to just let this go quietly. And I get it. There's, 11 guys on both sides of the ball. Brady doesn't control the whole thing. Neither does Mahomes. But as I said, what Brady's going to do, Mahomes, and if you could learn anything, is I guarantee you he's making every single person he comes in touch with better. Everyone around him is better today than they were before Tom Brady got there. And that is why I think that the Bucs might win this game. So with that, I got the Bucs. Ellie's got the Chiefs in the chat room. We want to know who you have and why, just for some fun. We're going to take a quick commercial break. We're going to be right back with Manilla Athletics, Erika Manilla and Adam Manilla. We're going to talk about the great, cool things they're doing. We'll be right back.
Oh, there she is.
Erika, that timing was amazing. So Erika and Adam, welcome to the show, Manilla Athletics. It's great to see you both. How are you guys doing?
Doing great.
Doing great.
I'm here. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for
All right.
having me. Good to talk with you.
Listen, before we get started, I'm going to go ladies first. Erika, who's going to win the Super Bowl, Bucs or the Chiefs?
Chiefs. I gotta go with I don't know. I think they're the favorite to win, and I don't think Tampa's really impressed me this year, honestly. And I'm impressed that they're winning the Super Bowl. So I'm going Chiefs.
Adam, what do you got? Chiefs or the Bucs?
It's got to be the Chiefs. Now, Ellie's a little crazy by saying 17. That's a little outrageous. It's the Super Bowl. It's gonna be close, but Chiefs are gonna pull it out. The offense is too good. No one can stop the Chiefs. No one has really. The Vegas or Raiders stopped them, kind of, but it was more of a gun show than anything. So no one's stopping their offense. They're just gonna score, and so Chiefs. But it'll be close. I give it like 10 points.
10's not that close though here. I mean, you're acting like it's gonna be a 3-pointer there.
You're right. No, you're right. You're right. I'll give it to you. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. But before we start, veer, we'll get way far off. Erika, I got to ask you. So, what is this? I heard you had a concussion from skiing. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah. I was going down some moguls, and right now there's not too good of conditions, but we just got 16 inches of snow yesterday, so now there are good conditions. And pretty much was going over moguls, went over a rock, my ski got stuck, and so it wasn't anything of like running in anything, but then kind of just got ejected off my ski. And so had a helmet on, which I'm very thankful for, definitely saved me. And got my first concussion, which was absolutely ridiculous. Everyone, please wear helmets, it saves you. But no, doing a lot better now. So took about a week to just recover. So I'm about 2.5 weeks out. So started working out again this week. So weight training starts again this week, which is exciting. And now back to it. So
This is crazy information here, Suds. How fast do you think you were going when you hit the rock that ejected you from your skis, which sounds nuts because you're on a mountain going down? So tell us a little bit more. I don't even know what a mogul is. I mean, I kind of do.
I'm out. Born and raised New York. I'm not skiing. I'd rather go down like a big hill.
all right, so a mogul is like the big bumps that you go
Yeah.
through.
Right.
And I mean, it was the most gorgeous run I have ever done since up here. And I couldn't, this is me being crazy, but I couldn't do legs that day. I couldn't go to the gym. So I was doing moguls to get my leg workout in.
Sure.
And so was going down. I was probably, I don't know. I don't think I was going over 40 miles an hour.
Oh, wait, not
That's
down
what I'm
moguls.
saying.
Get out of here.
I'd probably say 30
Outta here.
black. No, you don't even know there's new apps. And this Apple Watch, so cool.
Adam, it's your little sister. Let her embellish a little bit.
All
So
right, let's say 30 miles an hour.
Yes.
let's
do
go.
it.
Let's
Cruise
go.
at like 45 down the mountain.
Adam's
My
got you at
goodness.
about. I can tell by Adam's face. He's got you like 18 miles per hour.
Yeah, I've seen this woman go down moguls before. Let me just say.
How many times have you skied this season, Adam?
No.
Oh,
Well,
wait,
we're-
zero?
Yeah. I mean,
So
Adam,
it's a sibling
gonna-
rivalry right now.
we're going to get into why you shouldn't be skiing much a little later because, at the end of your junior career, you had some things that went down that we'll talk about, but I don't want to see you skiing when you're on tour. When you're done with playing racquetball professionally, then you can jump back into that mode again. But that's hard to say to a Colorado. What do you guys say? A Coloradian? How do you say that? A Coloradoan?
Yeah. I
What
got
a
bad
Rocky.
news though. I do have 2 ski trips planned already this year,
Okay.
but
Okay.
See, here we go.
I'll
Here
take
we
it
go.
easy.
People make fun of me when I'm skiing, then he goes.
All right, let's get to why we're here. Adam, tell everybody about Manilla Athletics. What it is, what you started, what's going on.
Yeah. So basically, let me give a little background first. So, I moved out to San Jose here about for coming up on 3 years now, and I worked in an industry where we taught CEOs, large corporations, how to use the newest technology that's coming out to better further your business. So all the virtual reality, augmented reality, AI, all that crazy stuff. And so I ended up in January of last year deciding, you know what, I'm done with that. I'm going to go devote myself to racquetball, basically do what I love while I can. And so me and Erika were talking about stuff, and basically what the premise of it is it's just online coaching, but there's a lot of other people that do that, but we're trying to make it more than that because there's a lot of potential in racquetball. We are living in the 70s and 80s still in our racquetball self right now. And so I and Erika as well really want to bring a point to just taking that to the next level and getting us out of this old 70s and 80s stuff, and what can we start doing different now. And so we're doing online classes. We scripted out a bunch of courses. We're doing online coaching. That stuff, Winterton's been doing some of that, Fran's been doing some of that, but we got some cool stuff coming out. And just new ways to keep the racquetball community engaged, new things coming up. So I'm always brainstorming stuff on what we can do, and how we can just better enhance racquetball and so forth. So that's really the premise of it. People always ask me how it's going, and I say it's like trying to open a water park in the winter in Michigan. It's very hard to do, basically, with everything that's going on. But we're chugging along through, and we've got about 7 people we're working with right now, and got some people going through the courses, and so it's really cool. There's a lot of people that still love the game and still want to get better, and when it comes time for that, these people are gonna be at a new level. And so for anyone that wants that support, let us know. I mean, we're working with people. We created a little online discussion group. You can be a part of that. We give out daily workouts for people. We give out video analysis. We get all this stuff. So you just come check us out, and we'll definitely be able to help your game out. So yeah.
So for both of you, I've visited the new social page. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. I mean, it feels a bit like, a part of I don't know, just because I don't go on a lot of other things, a bit of a small part of a Facebook type of situation, but a lot about racquetball. And with you two being the backbone of it, you're very present on there, communicating with anybody who decides to get on and communicate. And so that's cool. Explain a little bit about the social aspect of that, and how much you'll be involved in that.
Yeah, good question. So we really the main platform, social platform for us racquetball players is all Facebook. It's all the older generation. We're 40 and 60 years old is where our target market is. Yeah, but well, not our target market, but how many people are doing it,
Right.
And so it's all on Facebook right now. And what I love about Facebook is everyone's on it, but what I don't like about Facebook is you hear racquetball, political post, some other person. It's all this just random stuff, and it's really diverts against what you're really trying to do and really talk about racquetball. And so I was telling Eric, I was like, I think there's other platforms we can use that we can just fully talk about racquetball 24/7 all the time. There's no other stuff that needs to be on it. And then everyone just has a fun place to chat all the time. And so like any community, it's, me and her have been real present on it at the beginning, and we hope to be, for the next however long we're in this and we're doing this. And so I love waking up to it, seeing what other people post in there, what they chat about. I think it's great. So it's just really a community. It's called Discord. Go check out our page, and we'll on our Facebook page, and it's all on there. But go check it out. It's just all racquetball 24/7. So
Hold on, Adam. Adam, I'm cutting Ellie off because if you don't know, we have a little signal as to when who goes. So I'm going to cut him off. Erika, I want to ask you. I know, Adam, you just said, Scotty Mac texted us about Discord. And I see Amanda is saying she loves Discord. Now, I'm going to be honest. I didn't know what Discord was. Veronica didn't know what it was. I had to ask Scotty Mac. Scotty Mac told me what it was, and it's pretty awesome. So, Erika, I want you to tell everybody kind of what Discord is. Imagine you're literally explaining for the first time to everybody watching.
So I will tell you right now, techie one of the two of us, Adam. He came out to me at Christmas and he was like, I found this awesome thing. And it's a what gamers use. And I'm not a gamer. And so I was like, this is crazy. So from someone that had no idea what it was to going to Adam, it was really neat because there's all these different pages within the Discord. And so one of them is for the daily workouts. One of them is for motivation. One of them is for people to ask questions, for people to kind of communicate. We have bi-weekly competitions now. So it's a separate app where you can either get notifications, don't have to get notifications. And Adam said you don't have to deal with everything else that else is on Facebook. So it's a separate app that you can literally just use for racquetball. If you're a gamer, I'm sure you have different gaming software platforms through that you talk to your other gamers on. I don't really know how that all works. But I think the huge target with this is, I feel like a lot of coaches, a lot of them are with players that are in tournaments and players that are wanting to go into the next level. But this is a really cool app because what happens when you're just a league player or the person that wants to pick up a game every Tuesday and Wednesday? You don't want to pay the $200+ a month, $100+ a month for a coach because you're not ready to take that next step, because that's a terrifying step to make, because that means commitment. That means just everything. That's a whole different mindset, and not everyone's ready for that. I wasn't ready for that at first. And so this is the ability for you to be like, how the heck do I get a better forehand? What's the serve that I can hit to beat my player? I mean, how many people do you guys meet on the side of the street when you're talking? I play racquetball, like, oh my gosh, I really want to beat this one guy. What would you tell me to do? Come on Discord and ask. Because now you're not only getting Adam and I's opinion. I mean, if Sudsy hops on, you can get his opinion, you can get John's opinion, you can get anyone's opinion, and then everyone can talk about it and say, heck no, I do this. And so I think that's the really cool thing about it is it's not necessarily just for tournament players anymore. It's not just to make racquetball great again, you know? It's not where you have that exclusivity. This is for everyone to get involved, and it's an app where you don't have to deal with social media. You just get to talk about racquetball. So that's how I'd explain Discord to people that don't know what it is.
So how are you two going to go about it when someone does try to get political? Because at some point it's going to happen. Someone's going to say something that's just off topic of racquetball, and they just can't help themselves. You know this. It's coming. If it hasn't happened already. So what are you going to do, Adam?
No, I mean, there's through on that platform there, we have like admin rights. So we can just delete the post, or you can delete a bunch of posts. And then I just message the person, say, hey man, this is, or whoever it is, this is all about racquetball. Go take your stuff wherever you want. I don't care, but this is where it's at right here. We're just talking racquetball. We'll give you a warning this time. If it gets crazy, I mean, we can talk, but I'm not trying to come here and be a little like a policeman kind of just looking through the comments, but
Right.
you know, if it gets to something like that, we can worry about that, but there's things in place if action needs to be.
I sure hope everyone keeps that in mind too, and is respectful about the topic and what you guys are trying to do with it, because as I look at it more, you know, starting to become on a daily basis for me. I haven't really gotten into typing and getting too into the actual chats, but just reading them and seeing it. Adam, you know, I was wondering what's going on with Erika because I haven't seen her posting a lot, but now it all is making sense. You bumped your head real hard, so you haven't been on the chat quite as much, Erika, but you got the techie side here in Adam, which does not surprise me. Is very active right now. So for those racquetball players watching the show, you know, I recommend this heavily because you're going to get a chance to talk to one of the up and coming players who's there now. I mean, he's part of the tour. He's been for several years now and is a threat to win any match that he's in. So that's important. So, you know, let's back up for a quick second. You know, we know where you live in San Jose. You mentioned San Jose, California. You guys grew up in Colorado. Why don't, you know, Erika, where are you at right now? And what are you both doing for work outside of racquetball? Or is it, you know, Adam, you kind of made it mention that, you know, it seems like it might be just racquetball right now, 24/7 for you. But Erika, yourself?
So I've kind of been all over the place recently. Currently I'm in Breckenridge, Colorado. Doing a seasonal job here. And so renting skis and snowboards, just trying to figure out what my next steps are. It kind of gives me the time where I can ski a lot. I can still train a lot. It gives me the flexibility. If I wanted to go to any tournament, I could. Close to full home, which is really neat. And then it's over in April. So after that, I'm starting to apply to jobs now and just seeing where the tour is at right now and what tournaments are scheduled and kind of where this whole craziness all goes. And so just trying to figure out next steps in life still, because I don't know.
Where's your ideal spot to, if you're a full-time tour player, let's say, you know, we get past this COVID stage and the tours pick up, and, you know, I think there's going to be a lot of stops for both tours when it does pick up. I think people are hungry for racquetball here in the United States, internationally as well, in Central and South America. So you guys, I think you'll have opportunities here if you can just last that time here in COVID. But where's your ideal training spot, Erika? Where's your ideal living spot to train? Because that's one of the big questions when you're a professional player, and that's what you're doing is, where can I be close to an airport to get in and out and have great training?
I'm at 9,000 feet high. So whatever you're at in Colorado, this is the norm right here. Say when.
Say, Suds, I'm training at 10,000 right now.
No.
Yes.
Yeah, but are you hitting any racquetballs? Seriously.
Oh, it is the most miserable thing ever.
Are you?
Oh yeah, it's so hard. It's like, oh yeah, you
I know.
tap it and it's like.
Ceiling balls go out the court. I know all about it.
So where's your ideal spot, Erika?
Denver.
Okay, interesting.
I told Adam I will not move out to California. He said that he would not live there full time, and I told him I would go anywhere he goes because I want to live by my brother, but I will not move out to California, not right now.
So why not California though? Let's hear that.
I just love Colorado. I love the four seasons. I'm not a techie person. I don't want to talk about the new up and coming stuff that's going on. I want to stick in my medical world and my training world. And
yeah.
I mean, altitude still, at least in Denver, I'd be at 5,000 feet. And so still be close to the parents, which is really huge for me. And then we still have great training people out in Colorado. So DAC is amazing. I'm sure you guys have both been there. So, I mean, you can't beat that.
Love it. Yeah, we both love it. You know, we both love
Spectacular.
Colorado. Suddenly, I don't want to speak for you too much, but I love Colorado. As you guys know, I'm wearing a
Speak
Broncos hat.
away.
I'm wearing a Broncos hat for a reason. This was my grandfather's hat that I purchased for him he had it for about 10 years before he passed away. And so I got to keep the hat. So I don't wear it very often because I don't like the Broncos. I won't lie. But you guys, it comes out for your family and a couple of others, and it's appropriate because it's such a great state. My mom's side of the family is from Pueblo, as you know, and so I've got a lot of feelings for Colorado. I won a junior national there. I won 2 pro stops in Denver, which is the only city I've won multiple pro stops.
Why you got to go there? Why do you got to go there?
Sudsy, well, you have multiple stops in multiple cities in multiple years, so no big deal, right? I mean, but it's a big deal for someone like me with 9 stops or 8 stops, whatever it is. But you know, Denver's a great place. Colorado in general is a great place. So that makes a lot of sense. But Adam, how, for your side, how you feeling about California, living in San Jose in the South Bay?
It's good. I actually love everything about California except the rent prices. Outside of
Ridiculous.
that, it's great. It's great.
Yeah.
I was telling John before this that Bobby Horn's moving into my apartment coming up here in a month. So got a big training partner coming in, and Bobby's right down the street from me, lives no more than 5 minutes. So me and him are starting to get a juniors program going at the Bay Club right next to us. So, I mean, we lots of good racquetball going on here. So anyone that wants to come down by all means. But, and then John was alluding to what I'm doing. Basically, I am trying my hardest to be a professional racquetball player. So just when this comes and it happens, I'm holding out for as long as I can. But I do some engineering contracts on the side, do some stuff there, work for a small startup in my free time, do the mini athletic stuff. I'm in a bunch of different hats right now. Like I said, me and Robbie are going to be working at Bay Club, doing some racquetball stuff, some pickleball stuff, all that. So just kind of dipping my hand in everywhere that I can right now, with the hope that when everything opens up, I can say, okay, this stuff's over here. Let me focus on racquetball full time. So, yeah.
Adam, that's awesome to hear, and I love that you're really focused and want to be a pro racquetball player. I talk about that a lot, Ellie and I, and one of the things that we feel lacks is that a lot of players, they don't take that approach of, I want to be a professional. Be a professional about it. Ellie and I, when we came up, we had a chance to see how Cliff Swain went about his business, or Andy Roberts went about his business. And one of the things that they did very well is that they treated it like a job, like they were professionals. And I love hearing that. So yeah, stay there, stay right on that course, and it'll work out. And it's funny because, I got to be honest, Erika, Veronica and I are talking about, if we do go back to the States, which is very possible, and it could be sooner than people think, Colorado is in our top 3. I'll leave it at that.
Here.
And I know California's not, other than just being by Ellie, because I'll tell you right now, if we go to Cali, we're just going to go move right down the block from Ellie, and it's that simple. So, all right, you guys are going to play, and you're talking about, Adam, you got an awesome thing going on with Bobby, and Robbie's right there. Erika, I know you're a little busy right now, but in May, Jim Heiser is running a very big event in Denver. And I know it's a singles event, but the premier other event is mixed doubles. We're going to see you two. Are we going to see you two pairing up?
You already know it.
This will be the first time we've ever made it to play mixed at anything besides juniors before. So it is on. I'm looking forward to it.
I love it, because I'll tell you this, I won't say who my partner is, but I did get the phone call. It's not Veronica, unfortunately. And it'll be fun to possibly have to get out there together. Again, all of us.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Wait, time out, Ellie. I got Rhonda Stevens. She said Texas. Texas is also in the top 3. So you got Colorado, Texas, and the
Florida.
third one I'll leave out.
Florida. Stop.
Of course it's Florida.
Stop it.
10,000.
Those are the top 3.
So for both of you, talk about, how do you think the tours are doing right now when, they've only been able to get one or two in here throughout this COVID period? Just your thoughts on the tours, how they're surviving, how they're doing in that stage. And, your stop being in Denver here coming. I say your stop, Victor Manilla is a generous man and a generous sponsor. He has been not only for the tournament there in your hometown. He's been a sponsor of the last several pro stops that I put on, several years ago now. I mean, literally from Colorado. No need to do it other than just a great friend to me and racquetball in general. But talk about the tours a little bit, where they're at, and that feeling of upcoming tournament in Denver.
I'd probably just say for LPRT, I think we just had a great stop. Great prize money in it. I mean, it was the most prize money that's ever been in a stop before. I unfortunately couldn't make it, but I think it got all of the LPRT players super excited and super pumped, and kind of, it's tough. Like, I hear what Sudsy's saying, where it's just like, take that step and go be a pro, but it's also very hard. I mean, financially, it's very tough. I would love to be able to go to the gym every single day for 4 hours twice a day, 6 hours twice a day, work on my nutrition, stretch every day. And I would love that lifestyle. I mean, I admire my brother to be able to do it. And so it's not always that easy, it's a sacrifice. It's a sacrifice of lifestyle. It's a sacrifice of kind of everything. And so I think with more pro stops coming onto the tour, and that really big one with a huge financial help for a lot of the pros, I think that was huge. So I think that was a great step for the LPRT and a great kickoff to the season. And I think Denver, I mean, our dad is a huge portion of this one. I mean, he's very highly involved, and with Jim Heiser involved with it too. I think it's going to be an incredible tournament. I mean, any tournament that Mr. Heiser has done has come out awesome. So I'm very, very excited for it. Adam?
Yeah, and on top of that, not only my dad and Heiser, but Rick as well. This R&B sales right here, big man, stepping up big. He's one of the main guys down there in Colorado Springs. He's been putting a lot of money into the sport recently, actually sponsoring myself to go to some tournaments as well. So can't do it without Rick as well. He's a pretty amazing guy, very humble. You wouldn't know him if you don't know who he is. He just kind of stays in the shadows, and very, very good guy though. But no, the tours, I mean, I think like John said, I think once things get rolling, I think our fall schedule is looking to be a lot of stops. What I'm hoping for. I think it's good. I wish there was more of like a business plan for the IRT in general. Like how do we make money? I mean, we've seen for years and years that, like, it's people that really love the game that put on a tournament and they put a lot of money into it, and then that's kind of how a tournament happens. But like, all these sports are so successful. How do we get a business plan together? And then basically it's just like any other startup. I mean, that's kind of the world I'm living in, so that's kind of the way I look at it. But then how do you get some investors in here? Racquetball, we have a ton of money in it. Like, our sport has a ton of money, the people that are there. How do we get some investors in and say, all right, we're going to give you this much money. Here's the business plan. Now let's make it go happen. So that's kind of what I hope to see. And even if there's ways that I can contribute, I've always think I have good ideas and stuff, but if there's ways that I can contribute, that's one thing I'd like to see a little more. But on that though, I mean, the guys are doing a great job. If we look at the professionalism of the tour in the past 5 years, it's just only gone in a good direction. I mean, the stream looks 10 times better. Just how the IRT carries itself is so much better. So they're doing great stuff, and can't wait to see what else we can keep going with. So
Adam, that's really well said. I've been fortunate enough to be around some really successful and people that could change our game and take it to a whole new direction. And they do. They want to see a business plan. It doesn't. They'll help us out individually, and they'll help us get to events and help us do shows like this maybe. But at the end of the day, when you're asking for real money, they want to see a business plan, and I'm in that process right now, and we're working on that. And it might take a little bit of time, but there's some things that are going on, so we'll see what happens. But your frame of mind is awesome, and I know as you try to be a pro player, and you're also working on all these different things that could be a distraction. But I'll tell you this, it'd be awesome to see you at that event in May. It's gonna be great. Heiser's gonna do an awesome event. Ellie, can we get you to Colorado if I tell you who I'm playing mixed doubles with right now? Because that might get you there.
Yeah, I think right now I'm doing you a favor by not telling everybody who you're playing mixed doubles with, because I know. So
you do know.
The idea of going to stop sounds great, and if I'm not there in person, I'll be there behind the screen like a lot of other racquetball fans, and I definitely follow these two. I've seen them since they were young, Sudsy, some very young. Here's one thing funny before we get into your your origins of racquetball for both of you, and your junior racquetball, some questions about that. But my wife, Adam, she asked how old you were. I go, well, and she goes, what, about 28? And I go, that's pretty funny. I don't think that's right. I think you're younger. I go, no, I think that's funny you said so old, because they have a relationship. They were spinning partners together. I would always, encourage Adam to go spin with my wife at the club while I was being lazy back at the house when he'd come in as a 16, 17, 18-year-old. And they have a relationship, but my whole family does with these two. But I'm guessing you're about 25, 24, 25. Yeah. And Erika, are you 21 or 22?
23 as of Monday.
23 as of Monday. Yeah, that's right. You just had a birthday. Great. So 25 and 23. I saw them when they were about 12 and 10 for the first time, I believe. Talk about how you got going in the sport with your father Victor and your mother Nancy, and just your junior years.
Erika, you go first.
So I feel like our story that we kind of talk about is, for me, I hated the gym daycare. I would always sneak out and I would roam the gym. And so eventually we kept getting in trouble. And so I was too short to reach the handle of a racquetball court. So I got put in there. And then through that, Dan Davis, Adam Katz and John Faust made a juniors program at the Colorado Athletic Club, no longer there anymore, but we grew up through that, went to our first tournament, and little did we know there was a junior USA team, because we had no idea that was even a thing. And Coach Jen came up and was like, hey, you want to go to Mexico? And Adam and I, at that point, we just played everything. I mean, Adam was in baseball, we were in basketball, soccer. I mean, we were in any sport we could get our hands on. And we go from soccer practice right to racquetball practice in our game clothes. And then we went to Mexico. I know I definitely got my butt handed to me. And then after that, we just started training and started playing, and it was a full-time thing. All of our vacations were through racquetball. I remember the first time we went out to California, we used to go to Stockton and stay with Mr. and Mrs. Ellis, and stay with you all, and we train. I have very vivid memories of John making us do ceiling balls, and every time we missed, we had to do a burpee, and I wanted to scream, but it was fine. It was worth it.
Ellie, I would have made you do a burpee just for making them hit a ceiling ball.
Yeah, true. Good point. It'll help them as they get older, though. Trust me.
Hey, this is important, Erika. Before Kelly Bean says she's online, she says very proud of these two and who they have become. The future is bright. Kelly Bean, thank you for coming, and we're glad you didn't miss.
Miss you.
Miss
you.
So Adam, talk about your junior career, because you had a great junior career, always in the finals, always winning junior nationals, a threat in junior worlds. But talk about some of your big moments in junior racquetball.
Yeah. So yeah, just like Erika, we grew up, just started playing at the gym. I remember my first junior nationals, I got waxed. I got absolutely waxed by a guy named Doug Brenner. And a lot of people won't know that, but he was this big dude. I was 8 years old, and he probably hit the ball about 100 miles an hour at 9 years old. The kid just absolutely crushed me. I walked on the court thinking I was tough stuff, and just the dude absolutely waxed me. And I, I've never been a big fan of losing. So just started training hard. And after my first junior nationals, every one of them except one, I won the division there for singles, and doubles, I want to say. So had a real successful junior career. And then right after, as John knows, and a lot of people know, I had knee surgery. So I was playing high school soccer, was doing really good at that, was all state there. Really loved it. Actually, soccer is where I first started before I came to racquetball. Loved soccer. everything about it. Still to this day, that's probably like the thing I miss most is playing soccer, but I just
Oh,
get hurt every single time I play.
sounds like Ellie.
Yep, exactly. Yep. And I know me and Ellie bonded over a lot of that growing up as well. So just exactly. I mean, I love the sport, but just at the end of the day, I get hurt every time I play. So I stay away from that for now until racquetball's done. Then I'm picking that up for sure. But yeah, then had knee surgery right before that. I won collegiate nationals against Marky Rojas. Big, one of my bigger wins. When I was younger, I was close to making the national team.
It
That
was an
year as well.
announcement win for you that I'm
Yeah.
not messing around. I mean, so let me cut in for a quick second.
Yep.
Adam's coming right after the whole Rojas, Aldana, Diaz, Rojas situation there that, a couple other players were good in that era as well. Some solid players, Brett and Beck, Jake for starters, but he comes right after them. And so taking that match over Markey at Collegians was an announcement that I'm not messing around.
Yep. Yeah. He was, I think he was top 8 in the tour at that time or right around. And then
Right.
that next summer I played Jansen when he was about top 6, I want to say, and ended up taking him at US Nationals. And then lost in the semis. So was doing real good. And then about 2 months after that, no, more like 5, I tore my meniscus playing. And so I basically tore it. Doctor gave me 2 chances or 2 options, basically saying, one, we can sew it back together. If the stitches hold, everything's good. Your knee will be good to go. And so I said, all right, I'll do that. But with that came a year-long recovery process instead of the normal 3 months if you just chop it off. And so I proceeded to go with the longer one. That's what the doctor said. Did the whole rehab. And then about 2 weeks after I was cleared to go, I tore the meniscus straight off again.
Let me tell you why. He did it because he was a coach at junior team. He was ready off of the team he was just got off the team, right? So
Yeah.
you're coaching, and he helped the players get up the incline that were nervous and didn't want to, and they wanted to accomplish their fear of heights. They wanted to get up to the top. They wanted to be part of Team USA. And so Adam went up with them to help encourage and still help be a part of Team USA. So it's not just like he randomly tore his meniscus again 2 weeks after getting covered. He did it because of his passion that he had for the junior team.
And he didn't do it playing soccer. You said you were always getting hurt.
Exactly, right.
Was that Pikes Peak, like running up?
Yeah,
Pikes
the
Peak?
incline. Yep.
Yeah.
Tore it right running down there. But anyways, regardless of the fact, then yeah. So then rehab from that, they chopped out the meniscus, and yeah. And then ever since then, I've just been kind of just getting back, but I haven't been able to fully devote my time. I was getting an engineering degree in college and then worked for 2 years out here. And so it got to a point where I was like, all right, are you going to do this for real? Or are you just going to keep doing this thing where you go to events and you make it to the main draw and then lose? Like, what are we doing here? And so I finally made the choice. I'm like, you know what? I only have this option for so long in my life. I'm going to actually make it happen. And then COVID hit. So now we're getting going.
So let me say something too, because you're only 25. You've done a lot already at such a young age, getting your degree, already working a couple of years in the field, moving out to California. I know you have some family out here as well, so there's connections, but you're doing it all and you're only 25. So you still have time towards your peak. And we're seeing athletes like, in all sports that are peaking later, or their peaks are, lasting longer. They're able to sustain high level for a long time. That junior moment, Suds, I was there at the Worlds where he was trying to play through the injury in his last junior Worlds, right? I think you were even playing Sebastian Franco. Is that right? Who were you playing in that match that you had to retire?
Yeah, it was my second to last year, but I was playing Kobe Owasa.
Yeah, Kobe. I knew it was a great player. Like, it was somebody it was tough, and he was surviving this match and possibly going to win it with a knee that just could give out at any second. people were like almost crying outside. And I was, slightly emotional, not to tears, but like, oh shit, man, he's going to go for it. But I really don't want him to play anymore because it looks like it's really bad, because you can see Adam doesn't BS about stuff. And so it was, you knew it was real. You knew it was very serious, and he had to probably make a decision here. And, I give you a lot of credit for trying your best to last in that match. And right then and there, I said, if he recovers and wants to play pro racquetball, he has the mindset and heart to win a pro stop. And that's not something that you say lightly, like winning a pro stop. There's not a lot of American players right now in the men's and women's who I'm saying they're going to win pro stops. There's just not at this stage. And you two are that for your genders in your tours. And that's a huge thing. And so, that moment emotionally, what were you going through that day? Because I know there's some people who are probably watching that show that were outside watching that match.
Well, first, I appreciate you saying that. I mean, I know you've always been a just huge help for me. So, I mean, just always hearing that is real special. It's not anything I take lightly. But so appreciate that. But the match, no,
He says that offline too, by the way.
Yeah, I know. He's told me many a time. Told me many a
We've
times.
had that,
Ellie, I mean, he's always been, and ever since I always loved coming out and hanging with them. But no, it was, just like Ellie said, it was tough. I knew going into it, so I'd had the injury for about so it's called a bucket handle tail basically, and so it's like if this is your knee and your meniscus lies here, there was a little tear that went up, and so every time that piece flopped up, you couldn't walk on it. It was just unbelievable pain, and so we I'd be playing a match and sometimes it'd open up and I just couldn't move, and I'd have to move my knee in a position to hopefully flop it back down. And then it was like everything was brand new kind of deal. So I knew going into I had it for about 2 months before. And what probably did it was about 2 weeks before Worlds, my team was playing in the state trying to make a run to the state championship for soccer. And I told my coach I shouldn't play, and I ended up playing, and my mom like about killed me. So I went to the Worlds, and yeah, just I won the first, and I was up I was up pretty heavily in the first, and then it tore, and I came back and played a little, and then I remember coming out, and Marcus Riggins, I don't know if you guys know him, but super big,
Sure.
big guy. He was the coach at the time, and I was like, Coach, I'm going back out, and he sat me down, and never seen the big guy like that cry before, and he was just like, nah, man, like I hate to do this to you, but you're gonna have more wins in your life, and we gotta sustain that now. I can't let you go back out. And I looked at him like, no, you don't know who I am here. Like I'm going back out there. I don't care what I got to do. And he said, no, that's not happening. And so that's that. But here I am today. Knee's good, all good. I actually just got my doctor. I went to the doctor when I was back in Colorado over the holidays, and he said that my knee looks the same from when we did surgery to where it is now. So everything's so good. Yeah, it was really good news. It was one of those appointments where I knew I had to do it, but I didn't want to, because I knew if the doc said, this is not going down a good road, I'd have some decisions to make. So really blessed to have that. And so racquetball is not losing me anytime soon.
A little more.
And no, that's good. We don't want to lose the Manillas. But Erika, I got to ask you, you're the reigning U.S. national doubles champion with Amy Ruiz. And if my calendar is correct, I think national doubles would have been again, like right about now, we would have been there. So first off, what's it like to play with Amy, a what I believe to be maybe a future Hall of Famer? And then secondly, will we see you and Amy playing some pro events together?
Yeah, so I answer the first question. Amy's incredible. Absolutely. It's crazy because she was part of the sponsor of Adam and I for Echelon when we were kids. So when I was little, I looked up to her. So it was one of those times where I remember training with her. She came up and said, I want to be partners with you. And I was like, what? Like, what? It's amazing. And So then she came out to Colorado to train with Winterton and I, and all of a sudden I just came out and I was skipping everything. And she was like, "What's going on?" And I was like, "I'm playing with Amy Ruiz." Like, this is incredible. And so it took a second to kind of get out of my, oh my gosh, this is her. And now it's turned into an amazing relationship, an amazing friendship. I would say we talk once a week, every other week now. And it's just so much fun to have so much confidence in your partner. And then to also know over here, I mean, someone's relying on you now. You know what I mean? It's someone relying on you that's going to put in the work. So it's not, you're not thinking, are they training? You're not thinking, are they going to show up? You're thinking, we're both going to come to that tournament and we're both just going to be playing our hearts out. And so her intensity in the court is incredible. It matches my intensity, which I love. I love getting a point and being able to look at her eyes and see that fire, and it just reciprocated. And you know where each other are moving on the court. So it's absolutely amazing to play with her. I just love I say you're floating on clouds. When you're with your partner, you're floating on clouds. Like, it's just everything floats.
I'm sure she would say the same, because you were awesome too, Erika, and it's a team, and you have just as much of a responsibility, and sometimes it's harder for you, being that person. Veronica says all the time, I'm like, who's the best player, you've ever played or seen? And she's like, Amy. And I'm like, oh, every time. She's like, she's the only one I would play the right side for. But, you're just obviously as responsible. And congratulations on that, because you're still the reigning champ. So, we'll see if that goes. But
well,
Ellie, I know.
Here's the thing. Yeah. I mean, you actually built in a lot of pressure on yourself here now, because it's like a second life for Amy in doubles. She's gotten herself in pretty good shape, and no matter what age she is, and I know how old she is, and she's got some years now that she can lean on the young 23 and going forward, rising towards her peak player. So even if it's not a professional situation for you, Erika, and you go into the workforce, that 1 to 2 to 3 tournaments a year after you win it, and then you go to the international events, which will come back at some point, those are there for you for quite a long time. And you could really be part of, instigating Amy's run towards a ridiculous number of national title doubles championships. And the other cool thing is that Adam, as a mixed doubles, and Sudsy and I talk about, we want to be involved in helping spread the concept of more mixed doubles professionally. I think that's going to, and now, because you got a bunch of ladies who are ready to get feisty on the court right now and really play doubles at a higher, more aggressive level. And I look forward to that, because Adam and Amy have a lot of similarities with the lefty, the style of play, their ability to roll balls, be able to cover the middle with a backhand as well. So you got a lot going on for you there in the doubles field going forward, but no pressure. You should probably win every doubles women's event here in the United States for the next 12 years. No big deal. Yeah, exactly.
I told Amy, I told her she's not retiring. I was like, nope, sorry. She has a goal to meet, and I think that's 2 more national titles, and I'm excited, and I'll be by her side for those. Yeah. And then we're just going to keep building that number up. So
shoot, I hope Jackie Perazzo comes out of retirement to battle you guys for him, so that's the record she's trying to beat, I believe. So
can I take this moment to see, Adam, who are you playing with at the next national doubles?
Exactly.
That's a good question.
It is a good question. It is, because hey, you're a loyal dude. Hey, you're a loyal guy. You were loyal to 2 guys.
And Ellie, let me say this. Rocky and I played Adam and Nick, and no offense, they were much better than I thought they were going to be.
Yeah, Nick's a good player.
I mean, I think it was like 11-9 breaker. And Adam, I don't know if you remember this. One of the coolest things about that week, right? Like, I'm all about the competitor. I want people to compete. I don't want people to go out there and be like, oh, it's you, and I'm nervous, or I'm like, you were just battling and competing, and I love that. And I don't know if you remember this, but I said to Rocky, I guess you're smiling, it was the breaker, Ellie, and it was like, I don't know, 8-8, 9-9 or something. And it was just a little sloppy on both ends and whatever. And I just looked at Rocky. I go, Rock, we're here for exactly this moment. Like, I was dead serious and super intense. And Adam's on my side, and he's in the back, and he just kind of looks, and he looks at me, and he kind of goes, wasn't that why we're all here? And I'm like, I look at him, and I'm like, I kind of smiled, like, good job, kid. I was like, yeah, that's exactly what I want to hear in that moment. And He was dead serious. So it was a
No,
cool.
I'm glad you brought that up. No, that was a fun match. Me and Riffle knew we had to give you guys something different, and so we came in with a real relaxed kind of mood to it, and like, this is nothing. And we knew we had to do something different to throw you guys off, and it worked for a while, and then you guys snapped on. And but no, I had a lot of fun that time. No, but for my doubles partner, so it's the reason why I say it's funny is with Bobby moving in here, I'm gonna be playing doubles with him in at the World Doubles, and so now that he's living here and we're living together, we're gonna be training all the time. And so I told Riffle, I was like, not this time, but he's always my boy. I mean, me and him lived together in college. We've played junior nationals together. We've grown up, so definitely never out of the picture. But for this next tournament, yeah, me and Bobby are going to be getting after it. So,
well, I got to say, man, like I was trying to say, you've been a loyal partner for sure. I mean, you and Sawyer had a long run. Sawyer's a good player,
actually,
great doubles
I live
player.
with him now, which is
Yeah,
crazy.
I saw some, I look like that. I kind of got that feeling by seeing some videos of him. And
Yeah.
so, he's a good doubles player too. So you guys went on a nice run. And remember what Adam said too about all his wins, Sudsy. I mean, sometimes it gets glossed over. You got one of the great junior records. Mine's pretty good. Jack Cusack's is ridiculous. Rocky's is pretty good. But Adam's right up there in that category of the most junior national wins and just on long runs. So, and some of the guys around here, but your next partner, Nick Riffle, I saw him as a junior. He wasn't any good early on, but he was a very nice kid. Like, you're the nicest kid at this tournament. He was one of my favorites.
Yeah.
And then all of a
Nick's
sudden,
a good dude.
he is. And then all of a sudden he gets in college. He looks a lot older. And I'm like, he starts winning matches and he's feisty about it. And I'm like, shit, this all makes like, I didn't see that coming, but he got with Adam. And what you don't know is like, all of a sudden, so the Adam's there, he's 16, 17. And, I hit him a ceiling ball, and as he's coming back, I kind of brush his back just a little bit with my hand for a second, like, hey, buddy, I'm right here.
A little touchy.
Just right here. Not even that, just kind of almost like a light little brush, like, hey, buddy. The next one back, as I'm going back for ceiling ball, didn't even think he would do this. All of a sudden, there's an elbow on my side, just boom, like, oh. And I'm like,
I love it.
I don't even know if I think I stopped around and I go, is that you? That's you, huh?
I love it.
And he answered kind of like, yeah, maybe so, huh?
Love it.
Just kind of like, yeah, of course. What'd you expect? So, you and Bobby will be great. It'll be interesting to see you guys build. Hopefully we have some shootouts around here that we can actually have real doubles teams instead of Jagoda and Lippet always getting the best players and all that. But, it'd be nice to see you guys play a little bit locally here when we get out of COVID stage. Let's talk about coaching for a second, because you've had your share of different junior coaches and visiting locations, being around other coaches. I'm sure, you've been with Winterton for a little while right now. And so talk about his role in your guys' game and your guys' business now as well, because it seems like you're kind of grabbing some of what he's done and taking it to the newer age, the newer style, and bringing technology and all that. But I'm sure Jim has a lot to do with that. So a little bit about that.
100%. Coach Winterton's a huge part in what players we are now. He took us when we were 14, 15, and we went out to California, Arizona, and he was like, I want you to forget everything you knew, Where Adam and I are like, excuse you? Like, we're
right.
National champions. Like, what's going on here? And we had little chips on our shoulders. And so, but we flew back and we were eating pasta. I'll never forget this moment. I told my parents, I was like, no way, no, can't do it. And Adam jumped up. He goes, I get what he meant. And our pasta got cold because we both got out our rackets and started doing shadow swings in the middle of the kitchen. And so that's when we officially signed with him. And now he's just, I talk to him every single week. He's come more part of the family and huge friend, a mentor. And he's really been very supportive of Adam and I and our company. And I've been working with him now for the last, I want to say 4 years coaching camps with him. And so kind of being a colleague as well as a student. And so that's really huge for me. And it was a huge opportunity to be able to learn from him. But not only that, Adam and I have had tons of different coaches. I mean, Joe Shattuck's my first coach. We had Woody Klaus later on. We had you guys out in California. We've had just so many influences. So I think now coming into coaching, it's really nice to be able to put all these different influences together and be able to say, hey, like, you work like this, and there's a really cool coach that we had that did this for us, and it really worked. Like Joe Shattuck draws a smiley face on the racket and she says, happy racket. Or if something happens, she goes, fairy dust, and then you get a replay. Like it's dumb things like that that have stick to it. I mean, you remember Joe. And so little things like that that I feel like.
Hi, Joe. I hope she's watching.
I know, I miss her. But Adam, what do you think?
Yeah, no, I mean, just same thing. I mean, Winterton was really the first coach that when I came to him, he said, wow, we got a lot of work. Instead of like, oh, you're a good player, it was more like, wow, we got a lot of work. I mean, I remember I always prided in my forehand, and I got to the first day there and he goes, all right, we're starting with the forehand. I'm like, no, we got to do the backhand, and that's what I got to get better. He's like, no, we got plenty of work. So, I mean, just always a fountain of knowledge, even to this day when I have questions. I mean, still, hey, coach, how do we do? What do I do here? What do I do here? And I mean, Erika nailed it all on the head. He's been, I even think of it more as like a friend now. He just is there for us whenever we need, helps us with the business still, with camps, with getting the word out. And he really is just the best in the game when it comes to coaching, in my opinion. Always has been. Just the stuff that I learned from him, he just knows he knows the book front and backwards. So great knowledge there. Now I just have to tell him to lighten up a little bit and put a little smile on sometimes. But great guy. Love everything about Winterton.
All right, so here's a question I think a lot of people would like to hear the answer to, and I think about it sometimes. I don't really get an answer because I don't care to ask that often, but I'll ask you. Winterton's coaching several players on tour. If you're playing another Winterton player, how does that work out? Is he stay out of it for both of you, or does he provide game planning for both of you? Like you're playing Kane, what goes on there?
Yeah, that's a good question. So it's been a little bit of a controversy, and people really have to understand it from his side too. Is he's probably one of the most loyal people I've ever met in my life, and so Kane's his boy. It's the way it is. It's how it's been. Kane's his boy. He's been with him for however many years, and so when it comes down to it, he's going to sit there and coach Kane, and that's the way it is. Now, do I like that? No, but at the same point, that's his boy. That's his rules. When you're the coach, when you have what you have on your side, you get to make the rules. It's kind of the way it is. And so we've kind of more just said, he says, hey, this is the way it is. If you want to go with it, cool. If not, then go on your happy way kind of deal. And so
Interesting.
but when it comes down to it, at the end of the day, even if he's coaching against me, it's me against the person in the court. It's me against Kane. My weaknesses are not a secret. Everyone knows what they have to do against me. You watch a little film, boom, you know what you have to do against me. So it's not like it's any big secret at all. So that's the way. That's kind of how I look at it.
What if it's you and Thomas? What if it's you and Thomas Carr?
That's kind of what I was going to say too.
Yeah.
I didn't know if I was going to pull Thomas out, but
No,
Thomas is active with him, so that's a good one.
That was a text we just got from one of our producers.
Yeah, no. So actually, any person besides Kane, when it involves me, he stays out of it. Because I've been working with him pretty much. Thomas is a little bit more than me, but I'm right there with Thomas, and so outside of Kane, any other person, it's just like he stays out of it, and that's just kind of what the rule he's done. And like I said, he's the coach. He gets to make the rules. If you don't like it, then you go on your merry way and you do your own thing.
Seems very upfront.
Yeah.
He has recently, I mean, we've all talked about it with him. And so when there's a lot of people that are coming, I mean, he's one of the best coaches in the world. I mean, he has been there, he's gone through it, he's studied it. And so, I mean, he's been doing it for so long now. So a lot of people do want to work with him. And recently there has been people that have tried signing with him, and he has talked to us and said, hey, you have been my student for this X many years. Here's what's going on. And I've had this conversation multiple times with him with different ladies that have been trying to sign with him or sign with him. And he goes, would you be okay with it? And there's been times where it's like, you coach me at tournaments and go ahead. And so that has been really cool though, that he has been very upfront with it, because it is his business. And so that's another aspect to look at, is a business. It is his lifestyle. It is how you make money. And so you do have to look at it from that way as well, because if you don't get more students, there's not more income. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So, I mean, that is another part of it. And he is very, very, very good about not making racquetball all about money. I mean, he helps out a lot in a ton of different ways. And so it is really cool to see the other side of it from a player's, when he does call you up and say, listen, here's what's going on. And then he says, I coach you at tournaments, and you're like, awesome. Not that that's with everyone, but within the last couple of years, Adam and I have been with him for a lot of years now. So it is cool to be able to have him call you before he commits to somebody else, because he is loyal.
It's interesting too. And it's a good answer. You know, it's kind of, I think people are wondering that, you know, not just the Kane situation, but so I guess Scott brought up a good point. I see the text now that, you know, just a player that's right in the same rankings in Adam's situation or in yours, if you have, especially, you know, maybe it's a Latin American gal that's on tour, whether they're ranked a little ahead of you or behind you, Erika, and how he goes about that. So very interesting. You know, we've been talking a lot recently about, especially during this COVID times, of racquetball players in their pro prime right now, like you two are reaching, and how to be able to really establish your platforms and, you know, your social, and you guys are doing that. But what about, you know, being able to get out there, getting some companies, get some sponsor opportunities to really try to make this professionalism happen? How do you guys plan on, you know, marketing yourself and doing things outside of the norm? Because you both are, you know, you're good looking people, you look great, you speak well. I mean, Erika, you could be a motivational speaker for sure on stage in front of a lot of people. Adam, you know, you got your, you know, you look like you could be in a Fortune 500 company doing business, high business every day. You remind me a lot of Mueller in that way. So, you know, talk a
That's
little bit
high
about
praise, right? That's high praise right there, Adam.
Yeah, I mean, I've known him for a while. So, you know, talk a little bit about the marketing side of it, the advertising side, getting your faces out there.
Yeah, like how do you market yourselves as individuals, as players, and then, you know, where do you look to, or how do you get support? Like you said, you know, the shirt you were wearing there. You know, like how does that stuff happen for you guys, and how do you do it, and how do you market specifically yourselves?
Yeah, Erika, you want to go? You want me to go?
Oh, yeah. I'll let you
Okay.
start.
No, it's, you know, I think that's kind of the $1 million question for all racquetball players right now, right? There's very few that have been able to do that. You look at Paula, you look at, I mean, maybe like Jessica Perea, you look at, you know, there's very, and even on the men's side, there's no one, maybe Andre, maybe not, but not really. But you look at, no one's done it. No one's done it on the men's side. And I think there's a huge opportunity there. So the plan is, you know, I've taken social media courses. I'm still in the process of it, but it's learning a whole new language. I mean, I got a degree in engineering, and doing marketing is, you know, I got to learn the whole marketing thing. And so my plan is to learn, really, is what it comes down to. And so I'm starting with the company here, what things work, what things don't work, and then how do I apply that to myself as well, because it's a big thing. I've been talking with my dad about it a lot. He's kind of the backbone, and I know Ellie knows, but I mean, my parents are the biggest supporters of all of us, so none of this gets done without them. But I talked to him about a lot of stuff, and we're just trying to come up with how do we do this? How do you make a sponsorship package? And then not only that, how do you show your worth to a company, and how, and then
Sure.
what does that cost for that company, and all of
Sure.
that stuff. So I mean, there's a lot of different steps than just, all right, how do you now go out and be a social media guru, right? So there's a lot of steps to it. And so my answer now is I'm learning. And so once I get a hold of that, then it's off to the races. But I'm just getting on it right now, and hopefully, you know, in 6 months to a year, I've been like, all right, I have a good idea of how to go about this now, and boom, I start doing it. But it's something that needs to be done. I mean, it's, as everyone knows, you need to market yourself, and you need to, that's where your wealth comes from, especially if you want to be a racquetball player, or for anything, any player, when it comes down to it at the end of the day, any professional athlete. It's how you market yourself as a person outside of the sport. So that's a big goal of mine coming up.
Yeah, it's you know, Adam, that's definitely a good answer. Erika, did you want to add to that? Go ahead.
So I'd also think our dads and mom have been very important on marketing our family since we were kids. I think everyone has always known that when the Manillas show up, we show together as a pack, that I would hope that we're respectable and that people know what to expect when they come and speak with us, that we're open, that we're honest, that we try putting ourselves in a respectable manner on the court, and we're fair players, and we're just good people. And so I think that's something that we've built up in the racquetball community over the years. And so I think it's not only just on social media, but who you are in and outside of tournaments as well.
Yeah, you guys, it's really been a pleasure having you here. And I can't say that enough. As a parent, Ellie and I are parents. Ellie speaks so highly of you, and of course, I have nothing but great things to say about you both. And this is just coincidence, by the way. I just want to say thank you to your mom and dad, because your parents have done a spectacular job, and you two turned out to be awesome. And if you stick with this mindset, and I don't mean just on the court, off the court, and that's more what it's about, and all the other good things will happen. So stay the course. Ellie and I, and anything I ever do is going to be about promoting racquetball, because I believe that if I promote racquetball, you guys, the players, the people that are really passionate about it will be fine also. And that's what I'm guilty of. I want to promote racquetball because I know I'll be okay if racquetball is going strong. So you have my full support. I'm going to do everything I can. Ellie's gonna, Scotty Mac, and Adam and Erika, thank you so much. Thank you to your parents for making these two amazing human beings. And we really do look forward to seeing you soon. Ellie and I are going to stick around here for a minute, but we're going to let you go and say goodnight. Ellie, anything else?
No, just always rooting for you guys. You know that. And look forward to seeing you guys back on the court here when the tours resume, and get a W, get that first professional stop win under your belts, because it's a great feeling. It makes you want more for sure. And I know you guys will be hungry. So best wishes to you. Hope to see you guys soon. Hope to see you soon, Adam. Come through for some pickleball, maybe some outdoor racquetball pretty soon here.
I need to. All right.
All right, bud.
We'll see you soon. We'll see you on the mixed doubles court in Colorado with Heiser's event. Maybe. I got to get a sponsor to get there. We'll see you guys later. Have a great night.
Yeah, thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Ellie, just a great couple of people right there. I mean, I know they're two of your favorites. They're so professional. Racquetball is definitely, it's good that they're involved, and hopefully they stick around, because I tell you what, both of them could be very successful at anything they want to do.
Yeah, first off, I honest, when I say this, I'm honest. I think they could both win pro stops. Kane's hard to overcome. I mean, he's still he's not quite 40 yet. Even if he turns 40, it's just a number. And how long does he want to play? But Adam's a resilient player, individual, and he'll find a way. He won't just be satisfied of coming, and being on the court with him. He'll try to find a way. I truly believe that. Obviously, there's a lot of tough matches that lead you to a Kane matchup if it's deep in a tournament. But, I think he'll break through. And once he gets that taste of it, he's smart enough to figure out game plans to try to overcome specific elements of other great players' games. So Erika, she's got the physical presence to do that, the game behind it.
Who does she remind you of a little bit?
God, just
more athletic version.
I would have to think about that a little bit. There's not many like her as a righty with her size, and she's not going to back down from kind of letting fist pumping all the time, screaming out loud. She's very emotional about that. She doesn't care what you think about it. Where Adam's a little more chill on the court when he
but he's a competitor, and I like that. He's fiery.
He's borderline dirty. He's borderline dirty sometimes out there. And you just don't see it coming. So it's great. I like it too. They're different. The two are different, and they feed off each other well like that as well. So it's a fun conversation. And I just think as players, I think they can win a stop down the line or multiple stops. And that's a big thing to say. It's another thing to go do it. It's another thing to go do it, as you know very well, and I know well enough. So and I just look forward to seeing how successful they are and where they land. And, eventually maybe they'll find their mates, their soulmates out there, and whether they get married in the next 5-10 years or not, and just live this lifestyle for a long time. So it'll be good to know him. And Adam's close by. I hope I get to see him more after we get past this COVID days.
Yeah, I think we will. I think they'll be around for a while. They're both very focused. Anytime they get out there, they're a threat to win, that game, that match, that event. And they're both just, like I said, off the court, they're spectacular people. Not everybody's like that. It's nice to say, everybody's great and this and that, but they're not. The Manillas are. They're great. Erika and Adam, great people, parents, the family, great humans. and it's great to have them involved in racquetball. I personally wish them nothing but success, moving forward, and we'll continue to do everything that we can to promote racquetball, promote them, Manilla Athletics, and whatever they're trying to do in racquetball. And as for Ellie and I and Scotty Mack, this was the Friday night special edition before the Super Bowl, so you will not see us this Sunday. But I promise you next Sunday, we will be back. And Ellie, do you know it's episode number 30?
Yeah, it is, huh? Big episode. And we don't know. We truly do not know who we're having. I mean, this week we kind of always had them ready to go, and we wanted to have them on. And I'm glad we stuck to it because that was very pleasant and great call. So let's see who we have next week. We got a list of about 7, 8 to 10. I think that can be formed on that list. So everybody, there's so many others, obviously. I'm just saying right on our minds right now.
So many directions we can go, and we do love all the fans, everybody. Thank you. We love the feedback, but tell us who you want to see. Tell us there's no wrong answer. Throw that name out there. We're Ellie and I and Scotty Mack, we're open to anybody. We just want to transmit. We want to communicate racquetball. We want to bring you the history. We want to bring you the present. We want to bring you the potential future. But at the end of the day, we're trying to take it beyond the court. We're so happy you can join us every week. I know you don't always watch it live, but we know by the views and the analytics Scotty Mack does in the back that people are seeing it. Please continue to share it. And again, don't forget, reach out. Keith Miner, KWM Gutterman, thank you so much for your support. If you want to support Beyond the Court, you want to support what we're doing, reach out to us. You can reach out to all three of us. It's real simple. Sudsy@sudsymunchik.com. You can message me on all sorts of social media platforms. Hell, you can comment here and I'll get back to you. All right. So thank you again. Keep it positive, and we will see you next Sunday after Tom Brady wins his 7th Super Bowl this Sunday.
No. Chiefs.
Have a great night. Thank you for joining us.